Hey everybody, welcome back around to the Blog and Grill. I am your host, Doug, here with your video blog for April 17th, 2014. I have a great blog planned for you today. We're going to go around Major League Baseball, talk a little bit about the Yasiel Puig situation and why I've always backed Yasiel Puig. Also, we'll go over our New York sports update. We'll do some quick hits with an update from the Aaron Hernandez case. But first, I want to get to the NBA playoffs. The NBA playoffs will start on Saturday at 12:30. We got some great matchups for sure. First, I'm gonna give you my winners of the first rounds in the East. Then I'll switch to the West. We'll start out with the 1-8 matchup: Indiana versus Atlanta. Atlanta has been playing better ball. They have good guard play. They have a lot of weapons for sure. I think Indiana's gonna be too good, but Indiana will not roll over Atlanta. I see this one going Indiana in 5. Next one, we got the 2-7 matchup, Miami versus Charlotte. I think Miami is going to be the better team, the bigger guards. They're going to flip that switch, and I got Miami in a sweep over the Bobcats. First upset, I'm taking Brooklyn over Toronto. I think Brooklyn will beat Toronto in 6. Brooklyn has the guys that can win games in the playoffs. Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Brook Lopez. These guys can now empty the tank and go for it all, and I like the guard play of Darren Williams and Joe Johnson with experience. So I got Brooklyn advancing on to the conference semifinals. And in the 5-4 matchup in the East, Washington and Chicago, I like the backcourt of Washington with Beal and with John Wall. I think Chicago could struggle to score the ball some. Washington's going to get up and down the floor. I'll take Washington in this series in 6 games as well. Alright, so out of the East, I have Indiana, Miami, Brooklyn, and Washington advancing on. Let's head to the West, and the West has so many exciting matches, so many good rounds. It's tough to say. Some of these series could go 7 every round, okay? So let's go to the first one, the 8-1 matchup, Dallas versus San Antonio. I think Dallas could steal a game in San Antonio. I think San Antonio is better on the road. They're going to be okay. I got Dallas losing to San Antonio, but winning a game. San Antonio moves on in 5. In the 2-7 matchup, Oklahoma City and Memphis. Memphis has a lot of experience. Zach Randolph, Marc Gasol, big down low. Oklahoma City's going to have to find a third scorer like a Thabo Sefolosha, a Serge Ibaka. If they can't get those guys going, Memphis could win the series. I think Oklahoma City will have enough weapons. Oklahoma City will advance on in 6. This next matchup these next 2 matchups are very exciting. Golden State versus Los Angeles. Golden State, the 6th seed. Los Angeles Clippers, the 3 seed, the highest seed they've been in the NBA playoffs. I like the Clippers just because I think they have 2 A players with Chris Paul and with Blake Griffin. Golden State, still a young team. This team's going to be around for a while. I'll take the Clippers in 7 in this one. This is going to be decided on the home court advantage. And finally, we'll go Portland versus Houston. This is going to be a series that's in the 120s every night. I'm going to take Houston in this one just because I think Houston has a shot to make a dark horse run. A lot of veteran players, James Harden and Dwight Howard. Jeremy Lin's played well, Patrick Beverley, and I like the shooting of Chandler Parsons. I'll take Houston in 7 to advance on to the conference semifinals. So in the East, I had Indiana, Miami, Brooklyn, Washington, and in the West, I'm going to have San Antonio, OKC, the Clip Show, and Houston. Okay. All right. We'll have NBA playoff updates as we move forward all throughout the NBA playoffs. Let's jump now to some Major League Baseball action. The first thing I want to talk about is Yasiel Puig. Yasiel Puig, of course, the other day receiving some threats, and this is why I've said you always have to back the Cuban defector. This guy comes from a country where stuff is rationed. He comes here, tries to get a life. People bang on him for being how he is, playing hard, playing a little crazy, not being great, but still being a great athlete. Okay, I can't bang on him here. We've heard about the threats he's received from human traffickers about him and how people are coming to get him. Puig is safe in the country. Support Puig. He's a young man. He needs the United States support. And I am all for backing Puig on and off the field because I think he's an outstanding young man. I think he's going to do a lot of good things for Major League Baseball, even in Cuba down the road. So that's my little political rant for the day. Let's go to the scores of the day. A couple more games have gone final. Philly over Atlanta 1-0. Detroit over Cleveland 7-5. Minnesota beating Toronto 7-0. And Texas beats Seattle 8-6. Yankees starting to get some players back as we head to our New York sports update. Teixeira is likely to play in the minors in the next couple of days. He's set to return on Sunday to the Yankee lineup. That's going to give that lineup another switch hitter, which is going to be big. David Robertson coming off the DL likely on Tuesday. That'll bolster their bullpen. Their bullpen's been solid all year. That will bolster their bullpen and give them a legitimate shot to make a run at a world championship. Yankees yesterday take it 2 from the Cubs in a doubleheader. Masahiro Tanaka, 2 hits over 8 innings of shutout ball, strikes out 10. He now has 28 Ks in his first 3 starts in the major leagues. Yankees now 9-6. Michael Pineda picked up the 2-0 win in the nightcap. They take a 1-game lead in the American League East, and the American League East is going to be tight all year. There's teams just beating each other up. It is exciting to watch for sure. Yankees lead Toronto by a game, Baltimore by a game and a half, Tampa's 2, and Boston's 3 back, so those teams are all nice and tight right in there. They start a 4-game series tonight at, they start a 4-game series tonight in Tampa Bay. We'll see CC Sabathia 1-2 with a 6.63, taking on David Price, who's 2-0. With a 2.91. Just a couple of lineup notes for you. Brian Roberts will be starting at second base tonight, and Scott Sizemore will be the Yankees' first baseman tonight. So that's just something to look at there. Okay, and in Mets world, the Mets have swept the Diamondbacks over the past couple of days. They're now 8-7, 2 games back in the National League East. They start a big 3-game set at home with the Braves tomorrow night. Aaron Hernandez, 2-1, 0.96 ERA. Jonathan Neese, 0-1, 3.46 ERA. And the Braves, of course, are at 10-5, leading the National League East. NBA draft news: Jabari Parker decides to head to the NBA. I think it's a good decision for him. He's going to be a top 3 pick. Could be the most pro-ready player on the planet right now. I think Parker right now could score 20 in the NBA for sure. So he heads to the NBA. Chris Johnson is going to be the newest Jet, and this is why people are saying Michael Vick could be the new quarterback. Chris Johnson signed a deal yesterday with the Jets. I believe it was a 2-year deal, so that'll be something to watch there. And this in today, a man has been arrested as part of a gun trafficking probe related to the murder case against former New England Patriots tight end Aaron Hernandez. Okay, so federal authorities arrested 23-year-old Oscar Hernandez on Wednesday evening in Florida on charges of obstruction of justice with witness tampering and lying to a federal grand jury. Okay, the case is related to the athlete's case. The U.S. Attorney's Office in Boston has said these men are not related, even though they have the same last name. Oscar Hernandez, accused of lying to a grand jury investigating transportation of guns from Florida to Massachusetts. The inquiry was focused on 3 guns recovered in connection with the 2013 killing of semi-pro football player and Aaron Hernandez associate, Odin Lloyd. So Aaron Hernandez and 2 other men are charged in the June 17th shooting death of Lloyd, who was found dead about a mile from Hernandez's home in North Attleboro, Mass. Oscar Hernandez appeared in U.S. District Court in Orlando, Florida on Thursday. He's scheduled to be brought to Massachusetts later to face the charges. Not looking good for Aaron Hernandez. Another guy's been found. More links to guns that were used during that murder. So Aaron Hernandez is in trouble. We know he's innocent until he's proven guilty, but it's not looking good for Aaron Hernandez for sure. Alright, tomorrow I'll be back with my MLB power rankings, talk a little more NBA playoffs, kind of give you my X factors, my dark horses, who I think will have a big impact, and which big team could go down before they get as far as they should. Also, we'll talk a little NASCAR on an off week, as NASCAR has an off week here for Easter weekend. Follow me on Twitter at YankeeBaller415. Comment, questions, subscribe to my page. Thanks for tuning in to the blog and grill. I'll be back tomorrow. Have a good Thursday, and tomorrow's Good Friday.